Wassail Beautiful People. It's House Aquarius. I've had to put jumper on. It's gone really cold. My hands feel a bit chilly and stiff. I've changed jumper, but it's the same day. I'm not going to lie. Just because I'm trying to coordinate them with a different look to each. So we're doing Aquarius and Pisces, but I have just finished uploading Sagittarius and Capricorn, and the energy feels good. But hey ho, you could spoil it all now. So I was. I've got a song already for you because I've been putting it in my head. It's not so much the song as the attitude of Annie Lennox during the video. And apparently that's you. So what they put in my head, and I have to use the lyrics because I can't remember all this, but what they were putting in my head was, I don't need a heartbreaker, 50 face trouble, make a two time in time, take a dirty little money, make a muscle bound cheapskate, low down woman, hater, triple tossing, double dater, yellow bellied alligator. So that's your tune. I need a man, leave me alone. I think it's about the kind of contrary nature of you somehow. Anyway, that's your song. I haven't thought that song for so long. I was like, wow. And you just, and he don't wear a dress. So, yeah. Let's, I was going to do your whistle before your bells. Let's have your bells, Aquarius. Oh, it's so cold. Are you being frigid? There's like an energy of desperate uncertainty, which isn't you, but that's what came through. There was a kind of sound coming through. Maybe there's a transformation coming upon you. Let's see. I have to put the light on. It's going to get really dark. Not as dark as during Capricorn's reading. Steer clear. They know their dark magic. I've put the whistle away again. It's because you complicate things. You've got two ruling planets. So you have Saturn, who is happily at home right now in Aquarius. And Saturn is restrictions. Saturn is time. And it's interesting, I always think, because Saturn moves from being at home in Capricorn to Aquarius. So it has a really long period where it's quite content, but in different mood swings energies. They're definitely different how Saturn behaves here in Aquarius and how it behaves in Capricorn. But you also have Gaia, Uranus as your ruler in the modern sense, as opposed to the old classical, what planets can you see in the sky? So we need to look at both the F of Saturn, the lower heart, and we need to look at the B of the consciousness. And they are a diminished fifth. And that's known as the devil's interval. And it's interesting because there's very much an overhang of the devil frequency from Capricorn. So it's almost like Saturn comes in and hasn't worked out its new frequencies. So let's begin with the F of Saturn, the old ruler. I want to hiccup and burp immediately. Again, I'm getting that uncertainty, that energy of not quite knowing your, I was going to say yourself, but your purpose is what they're putting in, not quite knowing your purpose. We'll come to all of this later. Let's just retune it. And then they're showing me images of the Swiss Guard that guard the Vatican. So let's have a look at the Gaia Uranus B note. This is Crown Consciousness. You see, that immediately has a much greater sense of who you are as opposed to the F. So what I'm going to do is swing between the two, which is a little bit dangerous because we might let the devil in. And that's interesting because when the consciousness took down, it gave Saturn certainty. Something around the throat area that feels a little bit jarred within you. So, Aquarius, fixed air. We're looking at what I'm calling House Aquarius, meaning you need to look at what you have, what placements you have in all the different zodiac signs, because they're all going to inform you. Although this is, in theory, House 11, it could be House 2, it could be House 7 for you in your chart. So you need to look at that and apply that thought process to what we're going to discuss. So dividing everything in 4, and so we look at dark energies, the ego chaos, the energies that first call out and pull us when we're younger. Then we're going to look at the kind of lighter energies, the more conscious energies that bring you a sense of yourself and a sense of calm. So maybe the difference between Saturn arriving and then Gaia, Uranus connecting Saturn into itself. Then we have subconscious wisdom, which is the balance, the secrets hidden within you that you need to seek out. And then we look at the gifts that you bring to others, the worldly wise energies. So we're starting with your dark side. And I find the dark side of Aquarius hugely fascinating. My moon's in Aquarius. But the reason I find this energy so, I wanted to say hypnotic or interesting, is because we say we're entering the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is all about reaching out to the whole world and everything being beautiful and light and loving. And yet it doesn't allow Aquarius full reins to have a good look at the darker energies. And they're powerful because it's from our dark frequencies that we're given the materials to mold, the keys to unlock our higher consciousness. So, beautiful Aquarius, take a deep breath and listen to your listen to our darknesses. So, Aquarius, admit it, you're really brusque with people and you're an outlier. You don't want to play the game everyone else is playing. You're also paradoxical and you love that. You're also perverse, spiteful, lustful, fanatical. Once you get the bit between your teeth, you can't be removed. Savage. That's another Eurythmics song. That might be relevant. Or is it the whole album? I can't remember. You're savage. You can be really feckless as well. Admit it. You can be feckless. And you are uncontrollable. So we're going to shuffle cards and look at how you feel about your shadows. I can't remember the song Savage, but I seem to recall I like it. I'm hearing a David Bowie song in my head now as well. Fashion, turn to the left, fashion. Oh, and I'm also hearing a Mamas and Papas song. The fashion for passion, I'd rush with caution because of the notion, the potion, the passion that never been passed to me. Anyway, there are your songs. Look, you're beginning in Capricorn. It's like Capricorn sets your shadows because Saturn comes in. And it's about fermentation and putrefaction. These are the energies of taking something and dissolving it down. And I think that's that reference to how the energy of Saturn didn't want to sit in the lower heart very well until it connected with the higher consciousness of Gaia. There's something about bringing a balance to you that is kind of out of whack because you're never allowed to appreciate it. So this is about dissolving, metabolizing, energizing, invigorating. Those energies of fermentation, there's something about a lack of oxygen because fermentation takes place without the need for oxygen. Then we have another air frequency, mutable air, which is Gemini, and this is to fix things. You are fixed, but there's something about the cardinalness of what Saturn brings you've got to unfix. I was hearing unbreak my heart or something along those lines. You've got to unbreak the fixedness in your heart and put the pieces back together. You've got to synthesize, zero in and assimilate like a new atomic frequency at the base of your DNA. Then you've got Cancer. House 4. So this is the process, I think. Let me just look at the other two cards because this is... I don't usually read them one at a time. I usually lay them all out. Outlier layer. Okay, so you've got Cancer. Dissolve. This is to reabsorb. So you've got to unfix your heart. And then you've got to reabsorb and imbibe and devour a kind of emotional osmosis that you fear. And then you've got Pallas, the asteroid, negotiations, wisdom. There's something about a need to break you, break your spirit. You need to break that determination that you have. They're saying to me that your fixed air is not allowing you, partly because we don't allow you to have a dark side. But you've got to go in, face that dark side, and unfix things and dissolve them to reabsorb through some kind of emotional osmosis. You've got to pull in a new understanding of yourself, and that's going to take some really stubborn negotiations because you're fanatically fixed and you're savagely attached to the personality that you believe is quirky, and yet really it's brusque and savage, and you can't see it somehow. I'm saying you, it's me as well. It's all you, it's not me. So, it's quite heavy. You see, I often think that you're not given a chance to own heavy frequencies. I think you're more than any sign you're given this notion of the rainbow farts, that energy. Oh, that's interesting. I was going to say fairy dust, and that's coming later, that ethereal kind of, will o' the wispy magic that you have. It's interesting because the last Capricorn, I'm going to say yesterday, because I'm not putting this out till it is yesterday, tomorrow, time, Saturn, twisty. But theirs was about dark sorcery. This is about, there's something about the energy of Fae, light. No, not light as in trivial. I mean, just like being connected to a different frequency, and it comes through Saturn. So, because all magic is based on a notion of controlling time. Oh, I don't know why I shuffled that then. I'm going to show you the card anyway. It's Sacred Rage. It's Eris. But that's like talking about, you could put down the energy of vengeful Mars magic as opposed to sacred. There's some that, so that's what they're saying. There's something about the energy manipulation that you have available to you, because if you want to materialize anything, it has to be fixed. You can't materialize something in cardinal thoughts. You have to fix it. And you are fixed air, and we are in air epoch now. So this means that there's a manifestation, a materialization magic available to you. But we'll find out how it works. Let's look at this higher rainbow farts frequency that you threw around him. The word I keep getting all the time, which is I'm quirky. You don't want to be quirky. You want to be more than that. You want to be more. So your calming frequencies, the higher energies, this sacred side of you, and I am being shown, you and a load of pixies dancing around in a woodland scene. But it's about being progressive, forward thinking. That's part of this energy. Brilliant, utopian, reaching out to everyone. Quirky. it's in here. Quirky. But the thing is, quirky is a great thing to be because it's individual, it's unique. But quirky is pointless if you don't have shadows. If you can't see your dark, if you're not even allowed to peep, you're kind of just candy floss. And you don't want to be candy floss. So you're radical. You do come in with these wonderful, progressive, utopian, radical notions. And you're unorthodox. I mean, unorthodox in a way is kind of quirky with its full armour. And you're reserved. And that can also be a problem. But they're light attributes. They're energies. It's just interesting that it's like your good attributes, the higher consciousness things, are beckoning you to look at the dark side that you're not so keen on. Because, we all love an Aquarian. Because they're unique. So, we've got this sacredness of Eris. It's also, they're saying to me, it's the challenge. But that got caught in my fingers. I'm fascinated by what we have here. I'm not saying that this is collective energy, but there's something about the energy of Aquarius that reaches out at the moment, its lines to the collective, that utopian frequency, because we've got Capricorn, we've got Gemini, we've got Cancer, and now we've got Libra. We're putting out our energy feelers as if you're hooking into the whole cosmos in order to bring some kind of transformation. So you've got sacred aquavita. You need to move towards a better expression of the waters of life. Oh, the waters of life! Ganymede, the water bearer. You know, he's the beautiful youth that Jupiter got an eagle to kidnap, and then he kind of forced him to be his cupbearer. And it was quite an abusive relationship in many ways. But there's something about dangerous remedy. Being fixed on a dangerous remedy, 373, which is 13. You've got to, it's almost like you have an understanding of the freedom of the pouring of the water, the bringing of the new cosmic temperance to everybody, but you don't actually understand anybody's shadows. Like there's an intolerance to everybody's shadows. This is what Eris is throwing down. The golden apple, it's like she's throwing 12 golden apples down for you, and she's saying to you that you've somehow got to pick the best sign, and the truth is that every sign's good. You've got to connect with every sign. So there's an apple for each sign. But there's something about you not seeing that there's 12 apples, that they're like an onion. You've got to peel off each and give each their layer. So this caution around, there's a caution around pouring your joy into something when you don't know their shadows. They're showing me the image of like when water in The Wizard of Oz hits the Wicked Witch, she dissolves. There's something caustic, there's something dangerous about you just pouring your light alone into other people's energies because you don't appreciate, you're not understanding their shadows because you're not looking at your own. You are the rainbow farts. Sorry. I'm the rainbow farts. I've got to stop doing it. Then you have Libra. So we've now got the presence of all three air signs, and we've got the energy of air. So thought editing. You have to edit your thoughts. Libra in the alchemical process is a process called sublimation, conversion. I'm seeing you as being a kind of, this is all about, suddenly, I haven't thought about the Eurythmics for ages, a missionary man. You've got to stop thinking you're the missionary man on a mission to transform, convert everybody to your way of thinking, because your way of thinking isn't full enough. It's airy, too airy. It's not grounded in, I want to say, in Taurian energy. And that's where your ruler, Gaia Uranus, is at the moment. You've got to somehow get some kind of connection going between Saturn and Uranus. Yes, Saturn, Uranus. That's the trouble. Get up off your ass and connect with the earth. Thought editing. So this is about vaporizing, and that's interesting. It's like they're showing me the sublimation. It's when you take something that's a heavy physical solid, and you convert it to gas, and you miss out the emotions of water in between. So it's like taking ice immediately to steam and missing out the water energy. So and to you, you're spiritualizing them. You're showing them a conversion, an understanding, but you're missing out part of the process. So Let's see what you have as your energies, Aquarius, that's to do with the balance. When you can see the darkness and see the light, we're looking at that here. This is the subconscious wisdom. The balance between dark and light is to be original. You are original. That's really one of the really important parts. Your card hasn't come out, but your card is to multiply in the alchemical process, to increase everything. But it's saying you're trying to increase things without having all the prime materials. You're trying to build a boat when you've only got, you know, the paint for the outside of it. You haven't picked up the wood. So you're original, you're ethereal, you're humanitarian, you've got autonomy, you can stand in your own edge, and you can be so supportive. But there's something misfiring about this. So let's get them cards and give them a show. So, oh, that was a splatter. The one facing down is earth. Earth. Physical truths. Edit your thoughts and bring, again, look, it's a process missing out the emotions at the moment. Somehow this balance is your air and your earthing. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. You see, I'm really drawn to Taurus again. You're coming out of the cardinal thoughts of Capricorn because that's where you began. But you've got to seek Taurus. Sulfur. This is the beginning. Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. Again, you're linked to both Libra and Capricorn here. You're a free thinker. You've got that ability, but your brimstone, which is sulfur, this yellow smoke, is choking people because it's not, you're applying the sulfur before the full truth is there. And then you have quincunx. Careful how you say it. And this, as you can see, it's an uncomfortable energy. It's when you're at odds with something and you're not speaking properly, you're just existing. This is you in a mood with others. And that's not your true frequency. You're at odds with the moon in Libra. You've got this energy of Libra and the moon. You're not at ease with yourself. I'm being told to say bladder infections. Like you just can't purify the molecules in your own body. You're the water bearer, and yet something about the water you bear is a discomfort. I feel like I need another energy on that. It's like you're on the take. You need to review. You need to go down to your dark places. You need to retrograde. You almost need there's something, they're showing me this, and they're showing me it as an uncomfortable Venus sign, as if it was only a circle, it would be comfortable love. There's something for you which is uncomfortable about emotions, and we've had no emotions. We've had this sublimation from earth to air. Every stage of this process has lacked a flow of any emotional language apart from the aqua vita, the water of life. What is the water of life? I feel like I just need to ask that as a side question. What is this water of life to Aquarius? It's a square. It's so uncomfortable. They're showing me again, you feel that emotions bring conflict. And you don't know how to resolve this. It's like I'm being shown the square, the triangle fits inside the square, which is inside with a circle inside there and a circle around the outside. It's like you don't have an understanding of how to work with the fullness of all the prime materials. There's some kind of intelligence within you that's just got you trapped in kind of fairy magic, and fairy magic's not how you think it is. It's earth magic that takes place through the ethereal. So it's got this air etherealness, but it's got to be earth. But it's based on emotions. Without the emotions, there's no truth to what you're trying to materialize. So what are your gifts that you need to push into the world? You have innovation. You are innovators. That's the thing. That's why you're almost ahead of the game. You're light years ahead and you're missing pieces, but you're still running. You've got civility. You are a futurist. Vanguard, working on the edge with lots of other people, but that's the gift you're lacking. At the moment, you're working alone as the missionary man. You're trying to do this without assisting others. You're doing it alone. And then you've got excellence. So, it's interesting. Water is on the top. For some reason, the way the light just hit the cards, and I could see through the card. And I could see a triangle, and I thought it can only be water or fire. So, these gifts. Oh, that's a really big... It's a big downfall, but you know what? Look, it's on the top again. It's like you can't find the emotions. Aquarius. They fell to the table and they were face down and you didn't see them. So, I've got 4 cards. Right, so I'm being shown you have to separate. This is not now. This is these energies that are coming up, your gifts, your movement through, you've got time. There's no rush on this. Yours is timed for next year, and it's in the eclipse that starts on the 30th of April, and that will be a solar eclipse moving into a lunar eclipse. They're talking about this passageway that's coming up is next year, and that's it's the first card was Scorpio. So there's something that you need to separate. There's something you need to sever so that you can actually open it. It's like I'm being shown something bound and tied, and it's got to be disentangled. It's got to be ruptured. It's got to be sectioned off. And I think, no, I think it's your emotions are sectioned off, but I think you've got to section off this ethereal rainbow fart frequency that you've got. You need to go to the underworld. You need to go to Scorpio frequency. You need to wallow and swim and praise your shadows that you refuse to look at. Now, there was something else. I've got Hygeia and Aquavita. It's like you've got to journey into your... I don't know, they're being very difficult. What they're doing is they're showing me how we've got preventative medicine and dangerous remedy. Maybe that's what we're separating here. Separating the space between what is a dangerous remedy, what is a fanaticism that you have, and what is preventative medicine. And somehow that's linked to water being in between. Aqua Vita, it's like you're the water bearer. You've got to pour your water onto Hygeia. There's something about, there's a collectiveness to Hygeia. It's you've got to pause, you've got to slow down, you've got to stop trying to, what was the word? Convert people to your future thinking. You're too far ahead. So you're trying to apply next year's eclipse tunnel energies now. Stop it. It's next year. You've got work to do yourself first. So I am just going to ask for some more cards. Just for you. Not done this for anyone else, but this is a different energy reading. It's really behaving differently to anything else. So what would you suggest? What would you suggest? What would you suggest? That's fallen. There's one card on the top, and it's relevant. So your first card out was your ruling planet, and that's in Earth. And actually, there's some very interesting energies coming for Gaia, Uranus. On the 19th, turn stationary direct. At the same time, the nodes move into Taurus and Scorpio. You've got Scorpio. What you're lacking here in this reading is your understanding of the frequency of Earth. You're being too ethereal. You've got to earth yourself. And this is arsenic. You're almost suffering from this aqua vita, this dangerous remedy. You're almost wallowing in a future poison, desperate for it to be the now. You've got to calm that down. And this is swan transformation. This is your health. This then links to your biome. There's something coming that will improve your place in the earth, but it's not yet. It's like I'm seeing this as waiting for some kind of crowning object. It's this. It's your emotions. You've got to bring in your emotions and sit them on the top of this. Inside your whole self, you need your emotions to flow. There's an energy of the emotions here, but there's something about them in red, like they're scalding and burning you, and they've got to be unhooked. You've got to transform your discomfort with, I want to say your emotions, but it's also the emotions of others. So the final card that I wanted to show you was Aqua Regia. Dissolve the gold. This is the caustic energy that's telling you that your over futuristic, innovative notions are actually being caustic, and they're dissolving these wonderful golden energies that you have a connection to. It's this poison. It's you're not working with the right frequencies, and so you're losing almost golden opportunities that keep threading through your life. You've a gift for knowing what's coming ahead of others, and yet because you're not fitting the pieces together in your truth, but in your haste, it's affecting you. So more haste, less speed. The more you hasten something, the less you get there on time. because you create more problems. So you got to get out the rainbow farts and get a bit more real and understand the threads of time through Saturn and apply them to your magic that you're capable of. You're trying to pull in magic from the future now. The magic's appearing as a vision, but you've got to work with the moment of now in the 3D. Get out the 5D, get in the 3D. So that's you, Aquarius. Wassail.